All right, we are sitting in a really cool space. I would almost call it a Zen space. And this is the Zazen Boutique Resort on Boput Beach. And I'm with the resident manager, Diego Pignatelli, from Rome, who's been here for many, many years. Now, this is the end of April. The storms and the flooding that we saw on the news a month ago, you would never know it took place, because to me the island looks perfect, as good as normal. So how have your experiences been since then?
Well, for sure it was an unforecasted conditions.
Yeah, strange time of year.
I mean, we're used to it for November.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody's ready for the rain, so most of the resorts are made to be outdoor and sunny. So
yeah, that's true.
About October, November, the occupancy is low, so you don't need to deal with big arrivals or big departures. End of March, beginning of April, it's supposed to be very high season because Songkran is coming a few days later. Yeah. So it was quite unpredictable and not easy situation to handle.
So during this was a month ago, during the rains and the flooding that took place on Samui, which is very strange because March is the dry season, it's the hot season, it's very unusual to have that much rain. Did you have a lot of guests in-house in the resort during that time?
We did have, actually, we had almost a full house. Most of the guests who were staying here actually couldn't leave because of the airport that closed for 2 days, or almost 2 days.
It did, yeah.
So of course it created a little bit of accumulation of guests and long lines at the airport, which wasn't really the best. So we tried to, we're lucky we have only 26 rooms here, we're a small hotel, so we can assist the guests quite fast.
So that's a good point, 26 rooms, it's a beautiful boutique location. Now, after the flooding and storms, how did it affect business for the next few weeks? I mean, did people stay away from the island, or did they all come back right away?
Well, we did receive lots of cancellation right away when the rain started, when the flood started.
Yeah.
And immediately when the new news became international.
Yeah.
So of course we first were contacted by the travel agents from Europe who were inquiring whether the situation was
back to normal, or
back
is it
to
okay,
normal,
or
is it
dangerous,
fine to travel, is it enjoyable, the resort. So of course, as soon as the rain stopped, because it didn't last so long actually, the rain was mainly 4 days.
Couple of days,
but we did have 1,000 of millimeters per cubic millimeters of water.
Which is very strange for that time of year.
Which is more than almost the whole last year.
So, Diego,
yes.
After the rains and after the flooding, how long did it take the island to recover and get back to normal?
I would say just a few days. Luckily, I think there was a very good teamwork from the government, from the military actually, and of course all the local associations and hotels and businesses, which were only waiting for the business to come back and be back to normal. So apart from a few roads which required a heavy intervention, and everything was back to normal after a few days. Airport was reopened, the ferries were coming and going from the mainland.
The ferries were going back and forth the next day or a day after.
Exactly.
It was pretty fast.
So, which is important also for the supplies, because when you run a business as a hotel,
you need food, things like that.
You need food to feed your guests, even the basic ones. I mean, at a certain point where it seemed to be missing, but then actually it was so fast, the recovery was so fast that it wasn't really a problem.
That's good. Now, how long did it take customers contacting from Europe or Australia or North America, how long did it take until customers were comfortable again coming back to Samui?
Well, what we did for our part, I mean, we tried to show as fast as possible that the resort was not affected by these floodings and weather conditions, which was basically we take a bunch of pictures around the resort showing the garden, the beach, the rooms.
Put pictures on the internet
and say, any guest who had already booked and sent us an email asking, is it still safe to come, should I cancel, should I come later? Of course we send them the pictures and they agreed that the situation was already back to normal.
They see that everything, they see the photograph a week after and they realize everything is back to normal almost.
Yeah.
So how is, since then, has business recovered 100%?
Right now, yes. I mean, unfortunately, Songkran was very, very quiet. That was the only really sad thing about this whole happening. But starting from the 16th, I mean, we're full. It's been,
That's great. What's unfortunate is that when there's a flood or something going on, it was similar in Isan last year. There was lots of flooding in October, November, and it made lots of news, international news, television and newspaper. But then when it was all finished and cleaned up and everything was back to normal, it's unfortunate that international news don't come and report that. So the thing that's left in people's minds is, oh yeah, I remember Samui had lots of flooding. So
I guess they just want to see show the dramatic things.
They want to show the
If you show
dramatic.
a sunny Samui, it's normal to everyone.
Yeah, then it's a holiday brochure.
Will not
right?
shock
Yeah.
anyone. And also what I noticed on the international news is sometimes they associate the name of Koh Samui, which is of course a well-known destination, with images which were taken on the mainland, like in Nakhon Si Thammarat or Suratani, where
other
you had
places.
seriously high floods. And
That's a good point. Actually, a lot of the flooding that took place in southern Thailand is in locations that tourists generally don't go to
No,
anyway.
don't
I mean,
visit.
that doesn't mean it was okay, but sometimes tourists wonder, oh, the flooding in Nakhon Si Thammarat, is that going to affect my holiday in Koh Samui? And if you look at a map, you realize that it's really far away. So what is the message if there's still people overseas in Europe, North America, Australia, who are still wondering, is Samui okay to travel to? I mean, what's the message that we would give them?
ready to welcome you as good as always, actually better. With all this water, actually, our island went back a little bit to its normal status with water, because we did have a lot of lack of water last year, so maybe that's the payback of the dryness of last year. So yeah, I mean, we all look forward to welcome you here in our beautiful island. We're always busy keeping it clean, keeping it green, and hopefully the constructions will stop.
Yeah. And this beach is called
Boput Beach.
Boput Beach. So Boput Beach, looking out the window now, you'd never notice there was anything different. It's absolutely perfect.
Exactly, and
perfect
very
water.
famous beach because it's very calm.
Yeah.
Very famous for the beautiful fisherman's village where we have lots of small restaurants and boutiques.
Great.
And calm for the kids, for the honeymooners, whoever wants to have a relaxing holiday, and a very romantic one actually.
So business is back to usual. Everything is back to normal.
Exactly.
Great. Thanks, Diego.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.